What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Getting Technical, joined by Raleigh, and we have a special guest, Mikey, first time appearance. How we doing, fellas?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, man.
Pretty good. Can't complain.
We're a couple games into both playoff series, and it's been pretty disappointing. Both teams are down 3-0. Not what you would expect for the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. And I guess we'll just start there. I guess we could start with the Celtics, being Mikey's a Celtics fan, and you can kind of tell us how you're feeling, what they're doing wrong. Just like what's going on.
Well, I think honestly it'd be quicker to cover the things that they aren't doing wrong. To me, it just honestly just looks like a group of grown men that don't want to be out there. Last night they couldn't even do the fundamentals, and they're professionals getting paid money to play a sport. So I feel like just playing half-assed isn't going to cut it. And, I feel like if anything, Jaylen Brown and Tatum should both know this, seeing as this is, their 6th, 7th season together, potentially.
Fifth.
Fifth.
Was this year 5 for Tatum?
Well, he was in that Markelle Fultz draft.
That was 2017.
Who was the second pick in that draft?
Lonzo?
2016
or
It might be
2017?
year 6.
Yeah, so it's probably year 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So they've
So,
been together
yeah.
for a while.
They've been
Like
running it
by
for a
by
while.
this time, that group.
And they have the vets, in my opinion. Like you
got
have
Horford, you got
you have
Smart.
Marcus Smart, who's Defensive Player of the Year last year, and you have Al Horford. I mean, granted, he doesn't have too much playoff experience, but at
The
the end of
Hawks,
the
he
day,
had a fair share with the Hawks.
but at the end of the day, like this team has played together. They have vets. They have Blake Griffin.
Yep.
Derek White's not bad at it as well.
Yep.
Like they have the players, in my opinion, and when you have, in my opinion, a team that is beatable in Miami, I don't understand why they're making them look like they're a high school team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it feels like with the Celtics mainly, they've just given up. Especially, and they just don't seem to have any confidence or faith, whatever you want to call it. They don't respect Joe Mazzulla as a coach. And I feel bad for Mazzulla because he was thrown into it. He was the, third coach last year, third off the bench. And now he kind of just gets thrown into the fire with this team with championship expectations. He's got these 2 All-NBA guys. But I don't know. For me, like, up until about the midway point of last year, the Celtics were just a team that was underperforming. They weren't really that good.
Mm-hmm.
They go on this run with the Ime as the coach. They make it to the finals, and then all of a sudden they're just like this. They're just this elite team, this final contender. And I don't know. I just feel like a lot of guys on that team are kind of as great as they are. I feel like they're just one of those teams that always finds a way to kind of make it to the East Finals, but then they don't really do anything. Last year they were able to get by the Bucks without Middleton. Then they were Jimmy Butler hits a 3 and they don't go to the finals.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And now it's just like
And then they get dogged by Golden State.
Yeah, but it's like I don't see why. I understand Mazzulla has not made adjustments really. He's been out coached pretty much every series this playoffs, but to just throw it all on him, it's like I don't know. If Jason Tatum is who he was supposed to be, and Jaylen Brown's who he's supposed to be, this series should be a lot closer than it is right now.
Yeah, bro. Like your coaching is only as good as your players. You don't think with the Suns, you don't think if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt and, Kevin Durant has a little more time with the Suns, Monty Williams doesn't get fired. Like, they don't lose that series because Monty Williams, and then he gets fired. Bud didn't do a great job with Milwaukee against the Heat, but the Heat are showing that, bro, they're a top team in the East. They weren't a top. Giannis was hurt. Giannis doesn't get hurt. Middleton's not hurt all year. Like, you think Bud got that much out-coached by Spoelstra? Maybe. But there's just a lot of these series that, like, all these coaches are getting fired where it's like, bro, the players aren't performing. The coach can only do so much.
Yeah. Well, that's the first cop-out pretty much in every professional sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Team underperforms. They can't get rid of their best player who they have under contract for 5 years, so they just blame it on the coach. He goes. They bring in someone new who's failed somewhere else most of the time because that's why they're available to come to this team.
Yep.
And then they run it back and they see if they can make the adjustments. But I don't know.
That sounds like my life as a Jets fan.
Yeah, really, right? It's so similar, right? Because the Jets do the same shit.
Literally.
They don't really have the talent. They bring in a new coach. They miss on a quarterback early in the draft. They suck. It's just a cycle, a vicious cycle that keeps coming.
I don't know. I think, and truly, I honestly, in my opinion, as a Celtics fan, and just how they were structured last year, I do kind of believe that if Ime was the head coach of the Celtics and wasn't, playing, grab ass behind the scenes, but I think they'd be a much better team, 100%, because I feel like the difference between Joe Mazzulla and Ime Udoka was Joe Mazzulla. He's not as, I guess structured or whatever as Ime was. Like, he wouldn't take the diva shit. Like, you would see him on the sideline getting pissed off at Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum for being a diva, crying over a call that wasn't a call, and letting up points on, a fast break. And it's just, I feel like that's really what the Celtics, they're divas. Smart's flopping every other play. Don't get me wrong, that's my favorite player on the Celtics, but he has to stop flopping. You know what I mean? It's not going to work every time. When it doesn't work, you're letting up points. You're literally letting someone roll out a red carpet,
Yeah.
And Tatum and Brown, complaining over calls that aren't calls, still the same thing. You're giving up points on the back end. You can't do that.
Yeah. What do you guys think about it was game 3, the Grant Williams, like he poked the bear with Jimmy? Because me personally, like,
That was game 2.
That was it game 2? Oh,
yeah.
shit, yeah.
It was game 2.
Game 2. I don't know. Personally, I think it was like Grant Williams is the only guy on the team who's showing like he gives a shit. Like he's
100%.
not like Jimmy Butler. Like that's where he thrives, where he just kills your team morale. And like all the other guys were rolling over, Grant Williams was at least trying, and he played good defense. Jimmy just made great shots against him. But I don't know. I feel like the fact they were like, it's like I don't think the reason why you're losing and you're down 3-0 is because of Grant Williams, taunting Jimmy Butler, talking a little shit. I think it's because Jaylen Brown is shooting like 10% from 3 this series, and Jason Tatum hasn't showed up.
Jason Tatum definitely. He's rogue. He went rogue.
Yeah, it's just a simple fact. Like you look at the Miami Heat roster, you have 4 undrafted guys. You have a bunch of guys that want to go out there and prove it every night, and it just seems like they love the game a little bit more than these guys in the Celtics. Like you have guys like the superstars, Tatum, Brown, Brogdon was a sub all-star caliber player back in Indiana.
Didn't he win 6th man of the year?
Sixth man of the year, won a championship with Milwaukee, right? Who else you got? You got Marcus Smart, who's been there for a while. Horford has had his success in the years, and like I don't know. It just seems like it does. Like that's just like the fact of basketball. Like it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your name is. It doesn't matter what you've done. Like you have to show up and play tonight. And Gabe Vincent and Duncan Robinson and Max Strus and Caleb Martin. These guys
Duncan
are going
Robinson
out there
broke
and
LeBron's record. You
of
see that?
what?
For I think it was most threes. I think
in a playoff game.
In a playoff, I want to say in a series.
Really?
I want to say he beat out LeBron for it. Duncan Robinson, dude.
Yeah, like all these guys, bro. Like they're just hooping,
They're
and
shooters,
like
bro.
basketball is a game of runs. Like especially you see it in March Madness a lot. Like the teams that are hot at the right time. It doesn't matter what you did in the regular season. If you can do enough to get there, and then if you're playing good basketball, I mean that's all that matters. So, I think the Heat win, in this next game or in 5. And would you guys put Jimmy Butler in your top 5 players in the NBA after this season? And did he make a big enough case to put him over James Harden on the all-time shooting guard list?
All-time list against Harden, if they win this chip, you're saying? Or just after this playoffs, whatever happens
After
from
this
here?
playoffs.
I wouldn't put him above Harden all time, but I definitely would say he's a top 5 guy right now. Because if this is the way we rate players now, the regular season doesn't really seem to matter. If you're talking about LeBron being better than Jordan, all these like all-time discussions, it comes down to playoff success and winning championships.
Well, then Harden shouldn't be past Jimmy.
Well, but the thing is, right now, neither of them have a chip. So I'm saying if Jimmy wins the chip, Finals MVP, yes. But if he doesn't and like they come up short, I mean, I still wouldn't put him above Harden because Harden was so great for so long.
Yeah.
But as far as a playoff performer, I mean, every year we think of Jimmy. He's like a top 15, 20 player. Playoffs come around, playoff Jimmy, he's top 5. Then the regular season comes back around. He's like, he's like top 15 again.
Serving that energy.
We all forget. And then he just does it again. He just does it every single year. So I would say he has to be a top 5 player right now.
Yeah, I think it's because like his game isn't very pretty, right? Like we automatically put guys like Paul George, Kawhi, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum. Who else? Who was like another wing?
You say Book?
Yeah, I said Booker. Clay. Yeah, like bro, we just put all these guys who have the skill games. They make the game look easy. And Jimmy
Young,
is
Damian Lillard.
Yeah, well, they're point guards, but I'm saying more like wings, like in comparison. We don't put Jimmy in that category because his game isn't pretty. Jimmy's grabbing offensive rebounds. He's getting putbacks. He's hitting nasty step back and one jump shots. You know that he's hitting the fucking backboard. He's going to the basket and jumping into someone's chest and laying them. Like his game isn't pretty, but I mean, bro, he's more effective and more efficient, and he plays way harder than the list of those guys that I've named, and he's had far more playoff success than majority of them.
Well, and also I think like regardless, I think you have to respect Jimmy Butler as a player. Realistically, name another player that is actually playing a full duration of a game, doesn't complain, win, lose, draw. Like realistically, I don't really think there's too many that you can name that is literally running the entire game.
Yeah,
and playing as hard as he does for as long as he does. Like.
Yeah, no,
he's got a dog mentality like that. That's like a modern day AI in a sense, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's just a never give up attitude, and that's so typical.
It's really interesting though, because when we've been talking about it a lot, especially throughout this whole playoffs. But even Jimmy, who's a star guy, he didn't have it easy coming up.
No.
Nah,
he had to fight for everything that he has, and it's like that's like the tone that all these Heat guys have. And I actually saw this tweet. It's pretty long, so I'm gonna try and sum it up. But it was just summing up Caleb Martin's like pretty much post-high school career, how he got to where he is. So he committed to NC State as a 4-star recruit in 2012. He finished at Oak Hill, barely played as a freshman. Then he averaged 12 points a game at NC State, transferred to Nevada, had to sit out because that was pre-COVID. Then he won Player of the Year for his conference and led them to the Sweet 16. Made the NCAA tournament again. Undrafted, signs with Charlotte. Then he had to switch between the G League and the NBA, so I'm pretty sure he was a two-way player.
Yep.
Averaged 5 a game, was waived after the 2021 season, and then he signed with the Heat. And now here he is 2 years later, averaging 20 points a game in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy.
Well,
and it's
to
like,
think they don't even have Tyler Hero either.
Yeah. Well, that's giving these guys the opportunity, really.
And then a guy like Gabe Vincent, who played at UC Santa Barbara. He's 6'2", undrafted guy. I'm sure he had I don't know his, but I'm sure he played some type of G League overseas, some type of professional before he got to the NBA. You got Max Strus, who was a Division II player, and now playing as a starter on the Miami Heat. Duncan Robinson started at Division III, then went to Michigan, another undrafted guy. Jimmy Butler played at Tyler Junior College. I played against Tyler Junior College. Obviously not when Jimmy was there, but I played them 2 times. I played in the same JUCO conference. Jimmy Butler's jersey is up in the rafters at the gym. So you just have a team full of guys that has had to prove something their entire life. And like when it comes down to basketball, bro, it's not always about who's the more skilled player and who has a prettier game. It's about who plays harder and who wants it more. And you can just see it with the Heat. They're winning in every aspect of the game. Every aspect. You can't tell me one thing that the Celtics are doing better than the Heat. Yeah. And you have an all NBA first team guy on your team. And was Jimmy an all NBA selection at all?
I think he was second team this year. I think for the first time in his career
was he
second team, yeah.
Okay. But yeah.
If that's the thing, he's outplaying every single person. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
I mean, yeah. It's ridiculous.
That's the crazy part. Like, and it's just it's It's insane to think that, in my opinion, like Miami, I feel like the Heat have always just bred different breeds of players. Like, you have to have a different type of mentality and a different type of just mental fortitude to just be on that roster. Because really, every single person, as you just stated, like every person on that roster is just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you have Bam Adebayo. He's built like a forward in a sense, but he's making centers look like they don't even know how to play their position.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So-
Bam plays hard as hell too. He's a workhorse. Yeah, no, they're a good roster,
They're
bro.
just passionate,
I would
too.
not be surprised if they win the championship this year.
Yeah.
And they're playing a lot better than they were even playing against the Knicks. Like
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
like they turned it up. You know what I'm
100%.
saying? They turned it up a
100%.
notch too.
And it's like they have those gritty players, but they also pair it with the perfect veterans. Like Jimmy's a vet. They pick up Kevin Love. They got Kyle Lowry, who's been there. And then they got Haslam, who's been there forever. But it's like they have the perfect combo, and then they have the best coach in the league, and it just kind of all ties together perfectly for them.
Yeah. We could take it to the West. Obviously, that's another 3-0 series.
It's been more competitive, though.
It's definitely been more competitive, but it's been the same story at the end of each game where the Lakers just make too many mistakes in the beginning of the game. They blow the lead, and then Denver down the stretch just makes timely shots, timely plays. They're scoring at ease while the Lakers are like working for every single bucket. The Nuggets are just swing, pump fake, one more, floater. Swing, pump fake, shot fake, get to the dribble pull up, make a shot. Jokic gets it, dime, back door. Aaron Gordon gets it, dime, back door. You know, like the Lakers are going, Lonnie Walker's going one-on-one. Austin Reeves is going one-on-one. AD is going one-on-one. LeBron's going one-on-one. And they're shooting like one, they're making one out of every six, one out of every seven. And then Denver comes down, makes them guard for 18 seconds, and then gets a wide open layup.
It feels like the Knicks versus Heat series, to be honest.
Similar, very similar.
Because the Knicks play that ISO ball too. It works really well in the regular season. It's a lot harder in the playoffs. But you saw that play on Sunday when Aaron Gordon had the ball, his eyes lit up.
Yeah, the back door.
He's like, yeah.
To Jamal Murray.
So like
two
lighting up.
hands.
Schroeder's in no man's land, and then AD's up too far as well.
Well, yeah, AD is. He's
out.
in the middle. He's not at the rim and he's not on the ball. He's just like you said. He's like in no man's land. And then Schroeder's face guarding Murray in a no catch. And there's no one in the backside. And it's
goes.
like, yeah, there was just a few plays where like these guys, they're just losing defensive assignments and they're giving up wide open shots when it's like you guys pulled it to like 3, you know, or you had the lead by 1 and then you blow the lead. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a sweep. I can't see the Lakers.
I would have to say the same.
LeBron is banged up. His ankle's fucked up. They look gassed. LeBron looks gassed.
Dunks.
LeBron looks gassed.
Yeah.
LeBron looks gassed.
Didn't he say? I mean, this could have been a troll. I saw it on Twitter, but it was like a post game. He was like, because a reporter asked him a question, and his response is that I'm just old. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's just like a defeated response. You know what I mean?
It is
like,
the truth, though.
It
He
is.
is
But
just
and that's
old.
that's the thing though, and that's like, to me, the Lakers aren't going to win by just LeBron showing up.
Yeah.
It takes that entire team. AD, you know, you got to kind of just step up. I think Hachimura is a great player for them. Like, truly, I think they have to retain him and Austin Reeves. I think they're both solid players. I think those at least are just good guys that, in the event you do get say for example, Kyrie Irving, Austin Reeves is not a bad 6-man, in my opinion. He's consistent.
I think he's probably better than a 6-man at this point.
Well, I'm
He's
saying
like
in the
kinda up
event.
there.
I'm saying in the
Yeah.
event that, you know, they go out and snag a big name that you're not going to start Austin Reeves over Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean?
No. But I saw stuff like that on Twitter, and I just don't think it's possible financially. I saw bringing back Reeves and Hachimura. I think someone's going to overpay Hachimura, and I think they're gonna do what they can to re-sign Reeves.
No, I saw that the Lakers said that they're like, I wouldn't say desperate, but they're so like hell bent on retaining them that they're willing to match an offer. Which, but that's the thing. Can they
the
though?
Hachimura hype is a little. I think he's a nice player. I think that he's getting a little. I think it's a little bit of the Lakers hype with him.
Yeah.
I think he averaged like 7 points a game last year against the Warriors. He's a good defender, but
Yeah, no,
I don't
I'm
think
not,
if
I'm not
someone
paying
offers him $80 million, I don't.
No, you let
It
that
would
walk.
just be crazy if the Lakers
not
matched
paying.
that.
It's gonna be the Knicks that do it too.
No, because the Knicks have Randall. They're not gonna overpay
Bro,
Hachimura.
it's
not
gonna
gonna
be the
be
Knicks, bro. It's gonna be the Knicks, bro. They're gonna start him too.
Stop, bro.
That would be the most Knicks thing to do,
nah,
bro.
they're not gonna do that. That's crazy. But
They're gonna get, bro. The Knicks are gonna sign Hachimura or Reeves, one of them.
I don't think so.
I could just see it, bro.
I
It's just so
the
Knicks.
they've been so hell bent on star hunting. I don't think they'd overreact to one of those.
Dude,
two.
I want Damian.
I do think Reeves would fit well with the Knicks, though.
I low-key want Damian Lillard to go to the Knicks.
But then they got to run him and Brunson. I don't know if that makes
Yeah, I
sense.
don't like that.
They get slaughtered on defense.
Yeah, bad.
Bad defensively. Offensively though, shit.
But do you think? I mean, obviously this doesn't tie into the whole Laker Nugget series. But do you think Dame stays in Portland, or do you think he's going somewhere
I
else?
think he stays in Portland. Did you see that they're saying that the Blazers got the third pick?
Mhm.
They're thinking about sending it to like I heard like Minnesota for like Karl Anthony Towns or something.
I like that.
I was gonna say.
But I
that
just
helps
wonder,
them.
does Karl Anthony Towns and Dame, maybe they're a second round team? I don't see them making the finals.
They would need some more pieces. I mean, you have Simons there. You would have Dame. Say you bring in
I'm
Cat.
assuming they'd have to package someone with the third pick to get.
Well, I'm
to get
saying
Cat.
you still get your core, right? You still have Nurkic, Simons, and Dame.
Okay, and you add Cat to that.
You add Cat, and then I mean
Shady and Sharp if he stays.
Shaden Sharp, he's good. They got Nas, right? Nasir Little, is he still there?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, Nas Little play. He was hurt all year, right?
Yeah.
They
He had
fucked up his
moments
ankle.
before
Yeah,
he got hurt.
Yeah, no, he plays hard as hell. Like, bro,
And Nurkic
you
has
don't
been dealing with
need
injuries too.
you don't need these crazy names when you have Cat, Dame, and Simons, who I think is coming into like
Simon. Yeah.
into his own.
very good.
He's really good, bro. You just need some guys like the Heat have. Some guys that are going to play hard as hell. They're going to get you
Earn
8
the
to
minutes.
12 points a game. You know, they're going to offensive rebound. They're going to defend. And majority of those guys, they're going to do that because they're trying to fucking get paid. And they know they're not going to get paid from taking 20 shots a game. They're going to get paid from playing defense, crashing the boards, running in transition, knocking down open
Doing
shots.
the little
So,
things.
yeah, so, I mean, hey, like Portland could surprise. I say Dame has 2 years left of, like, absolute prime.
Yeah, at that level.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
You know, because I mean, hey, he can shoot the shit out of it, and I mean, we've seen Curry like still continue to elevate. So I don't know, but they're gonna need to bring someone in like ASAP. They're gonna have to go make moves this year, or just blow it up and get rid of Dame. Because there's no point of just keeping Dame and then just letting him ride off into the sunset and like being a bubble team for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But did you see there was like a fan petition or something? Or Dame
Oh,
like
I
tweeted?
saw that,
He
yeah.
was like, start a petition if you guys want me gone or something like that.
Yeah,
Really?
'cause
Some,
I guess
some
there's, like,
people were just talking like it's time for him to just go.
Yeah, because it's like, bro, Dame
I
is
saw
like
that.
that. Like, he's not like Russell Westbrook, but he's like that Russell Westbrook like esque idea where like he's good enough where he's gonna keep you guys relevant, so you guys can't tank, so you're not gonna get draft picks. And I mean, they got it this
He's
year,
gonna be
obviously,
mediocre.
but
Well, they also had they set him down for like
Yeah,
the last
exactly.
half of the season.
But you know, if they keep him, you're gonna just fucking keep fucking
Be a perpetuous cycle,
like
you know.
just prolonging this process of like it's like, hey, get rid of him, get some young picks, get some assets for him while he's still a fucking good product.
Well, his value.
Yeah.
You know.
So I don't know. I mean, I want to see Dame be able to like play in some big games in the playoffs because bro, he's a big time performer.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure somehow after this season, Dame to the Heat is going to become a rumor. Heat Nation's going to start
Nah.
that up on Twitter.
Nah, don't
Dame
say
and
that.
Jimmy.
We don't need that, bro. We don't need that.
That'd be crazy.
Did we talk? I don't think when we last recorded the lottery was done, was it?
No.
We didn't talk
So
about
yeah,
Wemby
so yeah.
which is bullshit, by the way.
What to the
That's
Spurs?
just bullshit, bro. The Spurs get David Robinson, then he gets hurt, misses the season. They get Tim Duncan. Then they go on this 20-year run of like winning 50 games a season. They suck for what, 3 years, and now they get the best prospect in potentially all of basketball. That's what they're saying. He's the best prospect in basketball history, which I think is a drag.
Yeah, and then I saw who said that? Chris Broussard.
Broussard, I know what you're gonna
says
say.
if he maxes out at Kevin Durant, Hakeem Olajuwon,
And AD, I think, was
and
the last
Anthony
one.
Davis, his career was a failure or he was a disappointment. It's like, bro, shut the fuck up.
It's just like that just has to be for clicks. Like it's an alternate reality. he
It's
lives
just so
in.
stupid, bro. And I usually like Chris Broussard, but it's like, what are you saying, bro? Like, so this guy has to be what?
He basically
the
has to be
all-time
LeBron or
leading
MJ.
scorer of all time. He has to win 6 rings, and then he has to win, what does he have to score 101 points and break Will Chamberlain's record for him to have a successful career?
Pretty much.
It's like, bro, what are you saying? Like, bro, you're on
That's a
Fox
harsh
Sports,
critic,
and like
bro.
you're getting millions of dollars to talk basketball. It's like,
Yeah, I actually, speaking of Fox Sports and back to the Celtics, I saw a clip of Colin Cowherd today. He said the only reason the Celtics are playing bad is because of Joe Mazzulla. He said that's the only reason. He just gave every player on the team a pass.
No, that's
It's just like, bro, like at some point these guys
bullshit.
have to have accountability. If
bro,
LeBron was in this situation, well, he is in this situation.
damn, that
But,
got
like,
awkward.
bro, but if you're, it's the perfect actually example. No one but Lakers Twitter is blaming Darvin Ham for them sucking. It's because LeBron's old. He's shooting 20% from 3, and AD and them, they haven't been good. D'Lo's been a turnstile on defense, and he's what? He's got averaging 10 points a game this series. So he's terrible. But I don't know. I just think it's like we talked about before, bro. Like the coaches matter and they make a difference, but they're not the only reason why these teams are losing.
No, and 100%. And like I said, I would have to disagree with that take. Like, in the sense of like the whole Colin Cowherd, like that's just insane. Like, a coach is gonna write up the plays, but the players are the ones that are gonna be scoring, playing defense, passing the ball. That's part of the sport that they don't know how to do. You'll have Jason Tatum posted up in the corner, triple covered, and still chalking it up. It's like, bro. I mean, granted, Marcus Smart's not going to be your best 3-point shooter, but if Buddy's open, you gotta give it to him. It's
exactly.
Especially in crucial moments. Like he's, what's his percentage this season? I mean, in this series, it's got to be atrocious.
He's bad. He's been bad.
Like, it's just that's ill-advised. You know what I mean?
To wrap up NBA, because I know you got to hop off. If you guys could, I was thinking about this when the Spurs first got that pick. Because they've got some decent players. Devin Vassell's good. Keldon Johnson. Like, they've got some guys. Mm-hmm. Jeremy Sochan had a good rookie season. Do they make a move for, like, take Chris Paul's contract or something and get a vet in to just kind of help with these young guys at some point? Because, obviously, I don't think they're going to be title contenders yet unless Wembanyama really is, like, fucking insane. But a guy like CP3 or Draymond or someone who they could probably get, is there a guy that you think would fit well with them? The first person I thought of was Chris Paul. The Suns don't want him. We saw what he did in OKC. He's clearly still brings like a lot of benefit to the team, but he probably can't last out a whole season to go on a finals run.
I say you try and go get like Clay and someone else. Clay and like, I mean, bro, you go get like Clay and Kyrie. With Wemby.
I mean, if any coach,
bro,
if any coach could deal with Kyrie, it's probably Pop.
That would be
100%.
crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Golden State gets rid of Clay before they would get rid of Draymond.
They got to figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I mean they have replacement for Clay in a sense. You know, I mean, you got Jordan Poole. He's not terrible. He can score. It's just a matter of giving him more shots and giving him more opportunities. You know. As you said before, he's sitting behind Steph. He's sitting behind Clay. He's sitting behind Draymond. Like Wiggins. Like you got to give the guy more opportunities if you want him to produce.
I think that he could be. They might move on from him this summer, just because they got to pay Draymond if they want to keep him. He needs a new contract.
I mean,
well, hey, I would like to see him in San Antonio too.
No.
But that's what I was listening to one of the Ringer podcasts, NBA, and they were talking about teams that would be good for Jordan Poole. Teams like the Spurs, I could see him on like the Magic. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit. Like one of these like
like
young
fit
teams
Detroit.
that's like
Detroit.
they've got young talent, but they're still kind of missing a few pieces. Like I would like to see what Jordan Poole did on one of those teams. Brooklyn would be another team.
Brooklyn, you know.
Cool. OKC.
Yeah.
Bro, why not? I mean, Lou Dort's a defensive guy.
Yeah, all these
Chet, they can all defend.
Mm-hmm.
They just need more scoring, really.
So now I guess my question to you guys, because obviously it's just I would have a biased take on it just because there are certain players that I would like for the Celtics to take. But who, if you could build a dream offseason for the Celtics to make them to be what they're supposed to be in a sense, what do you think are their target players? in a sort? Or do you think it's bigger than players? Do you think it's front office type of deal?
I mean, I think it's a mix of both. I think it's time. I think it's time Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum go their separate ways. I think, and if that happens, and then I mean, hey, I don't know what you can get for Jaylen Brown. You know what I'm saying? We'd have to start that rumor would have to come out, and then we'd have to see like who's on the market, who wants Jaylen Brown. Because obviously, I think you keep Tatum, but I think it's time. You get swept this series. And then you lost in the finals the year before that. Then you got bounced in the playoffs the year before that. I mean, hey, maybe you can run it back one more year, bring in a new coach or something like that if they want to do that. But I think it's time. Hey, go your separate ways. You know, Harden. How many years did Westbrook and KD? You know, it was about the same time frame, 5-6 years. Hey, go your separate ways.
Yeah, it didn't work out. Let bygones be bygones. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's Kyrie, LeBron. You know, it's just it's a matter of time, and it seems like Jaylen Brown will be very frustrated this year if they get swept, and he may even be like, "Fuck it, you know, let me go get my own team now. Let me see what I could do." And then he'll have to prove it. It'll be on him to be like, "All right, maybe I should have been the guy."
Well, that's the thing. I feel like if he does leave Boston, I feel like he has really no opportunity but to go somewhere and actually play well. Because I feel like the actual fine line between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown actually being good teammates and actually being a good duo is I truly do feel behind closed doors. I think Jaylen Brown thinks he's a better player. And I feel like he kind of, in a sense, feels like he's a number one somewhere. And I think Jason Tatum plays too much of a selfish ball for Jaylen Brown to kind of be like, I could play here. Then he's always complaining about the fan base. He's said it openly that he doesn't feel appreciated.
Yeah, it's weird with them, bro. It's just they're trying to be Batman and Batman instead of being Batman and Robin.
There's always gonna be a Scottie Pippen to a Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? There's never two Michael Jordans. You know?
Yeah. I got to trade. All right. What if we send Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart to Toronto for Siakam? Gary Trent and a first or two? What if we put Jaylen Brown in Toronto? Damn. I love Gary Trent.
It's hard.
Gary Trent is nice.
It's hard for me because I'm a big Marcus Smart fan. Because
all right. We'll keep Marcus on the Celtics, and we'll send Brogdon. We'll send Brogdon up north.
I think I could do it because I think Pascal brings something that the Celtics need in the sense of he can play defense, he can score. Like I feel like he's a role guy.
We've also seen him succeed as a two with Kawhi.
Yes. Like he's
good
not
enough to win a chip.
He's not a slouch, but he's not going to go out and drop 50. I mean, maybe, but
he's torched the Knicks
unlikely.
A few times.
But like I said, he's a good role player.
Yeah.
He's not someone that's gonna. I don't see Pascal being a drama queen in the sense of, oh, he's taking too much shots. Like no, if he takes 10 shots, 12 shots, I feel like that's fair. You know.
I'm just trying to think of guys that would make sense to come back to Boston, because if they just lose Jaylen Brown, which they have to trade him for something, they can't really just trade him for picks because they have to be competitive.
Yeah, no. They'll get something in return for him.
Randall and picks for Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
No, it would be good for the Knicks.
Yeah. I was like, damn, bro, we're literally getting a Walmart version of Jaylen Brown in a sense.
I don't know. I think the Knicks the Knicks are just gonna have to run it back.
I honestly like the Knicks roster. I do. Yeah. Like I just watching them in the postseason and just even this season, I think they have the talent. I think Jalen Brunson proved that he can be that guy that actually can win them games when need be. He had a few great games against Miami. I think Randall does have to figure it out in the sense of play more consistent basketball.
Yeah.
And I think as well as RJ Barrett. Me not being a Knicks fan, I don't really know what the expectation was at RJ Barrett, if they were expecting him to kind of come in and be like that guy. But I mean, if that is what the expectation is, I don't think he's met that.
Yeah, I think RJ definitely made a leap this postseason.
Yes.
He finished it very poorly. Really bad game 6 from him. But overall, I think he started to kind of find his role within this team. And as a Knicks fan, I think some of it has to do with the offensive scheme. Like, it's just a really ISO heavy. The Knicks offense is really, it's 3 ISO guys in Jalen, Julius, and RJ. And then it's kind of crashing the offensive glass with guys like Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and Randall.
Mm-hmm.
And so that really worked for them during the regular season because, they were able to kind of take advantage of some of these bad teams, catch guys on the wrong nights. And it worked. It worked in the first round against the Cavs because Mitchell Robinson had a field day. It did not work against the Heat. But also, I think like the thing is for me is like if the Knicks just shot a little bit better from 3, like that series is going 7 at least.
I to be honest, I thought it was gonna go 7. I really thought,
I thought they had a chance that night, but guys like RJ and Julius didn't step up that night. Guys like Grimes couldn't really make shots all series. Emmanuel quickly got hurt and he didn't have really good postseason.
I really like Quigley, bro.
I do too.
Really do. I think he's one of those players that off just the Knicks that just catches my eye when he's on the court.
Yeah.
Like he plays with I feel like he plays very free.
Yeah, and he affects the game on both ends. If he's having a poor shooting night, he's a great defender as well. So I think the Knicks are in a good position. I think they'll be in the mix for a lot of these star players that want out, but I don't think they're gonna. I hope that they don't jump at the wrong guy. I hope they don't go for a Cat because Cat and Julius Randle seem like very similar players to me, and Karl Anthony Towns makes twice the money, like literally twice the money.
Paying 2 guys to go rogue.
So I'm good with that. Do you want to switch into the Jets?
Yeah, we could
talk a lot.
We
of
could
Jets
definitely run the Jets.
You could start it off. We could talk about that Aaron Rodgers stat that you were talking about before, because I didn't know that. And I thought it was pretty cool.
So yeah, no, it's a crazy stat, and like I understand, like Aaron Rodgers isn't Aaron Rodgers 10 years ago. I understand that, but at the end of the day, the guy knows how to sling the ball.
Yeah.
And if you're a quarterback that can throw the ball, and you have a team that can play defense, you might be kind of successful in the league. I mean, look at Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly.
But the stat is when Aaron Rodgers has a defense that lets up less than 20 points a game, the dude's 80-10. Like that's a absolutely absurd number.
It really is crazy. I didn't know it was like 20. Like 20 is a good amount of points, but at least for the Jets, we know that they can. That defense, especially adding some talent to it this offseason, it's something they can do.
Last year, like I said, we let up. I think I might be a point off, but it was either we let up 18.6 points a game, or it was like 19.6 a game. But still, then, if you're gonna go off of kind of like what that stat is, if you were to actually apply it, like Jets are gonna have a pretty decent season. I think the first 4 games or so of the season, I think I would honestly rather play the better teams in the beginning part of the season because because realistically there are teams that are good. It's just you don't know that they're good until almost mid part of the season because they just don't know what their schemes are. So I would rather face the really good teams in the earlier part of the season because obviously it could be us as well. But what are the chances you run into we open the season against Buffalo?
Yeah,
I think
Monday night, September 11th.
That I'm sorry, but the Jets win that game, and if the Jets win that game by a commanding margin, social media is gonna blow up. Like, come on. I think you have the Bills that have been, in a sense, the poster boy of the NFL, aside from the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes, for the past 2 years. When, in my opinion, they've been frauds. Josh Allen.
They have not. Outside of that one playoff game, well, that playoff run, I guess, because they smoked the Pats that year. Then they had that back and forth game. Yeah, Diggs has kind of disappeared.
Bro, he's going to Dallas, bro. Book it.
But do you think he gets traded I thought he was going to get traded this offseason. didn't happen. So.
I think, and this is just my take. My opinion is the Bills start slow. Counts Devon Diggs out. He will force his way out. He's already posted about it on Twitter. He's liking Dallas Cowboy stuff on Twitter. His brother plays in Dallas, and I mean, shit. Look at the Jets. They have Quincy Williams and Quinn Williams. They're living it up. They're brothers. You know that.
Yeah.
I feel like any brother, any group of brothers in the NFL, that was a dream at one point.
Yeah.
And probably
definitely.
still is. You know, it's just like as if T.J. Watt and J.J. Watt were on the same team.
Yeah.
You know how crazy that would have been?
It would have been crazy.
So,
With that being said, though, Sue, we ranked quarterbacks, I think, a few episodes ago. But do you think where would you rank Rodgers right now? I would say he's probably 5 to 7 range.
I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, I feel like
even with the season he had last year, and we know he had the banged up thumb.
that
He didn't
what
really have.
talent did
He
he
lost
have?
Devontae Adams.
That's what I'm saying. What talent? I mean, but that's
I think
in
the
my-
Jets have good talent on offense right now.
Yes.
I think Garrett Wilson has a huge year. I think Brees comes back hopefully sooner than later. I think he has a nice season. They got his boy Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb,
I like
Allen
Tyler
Lazard,
Conklin.
Corey Davis,
Yeah.
Tyler Conklin, C.J. Uzama, Michael Carter. I think he just had a slump season last year. I think he bounces back. We just drafted the running back out of Penn State. That guy put up, what was it, 200 and something. I think he put up like 238 rushing yards last season in a game for like 4 touchdowns. I think he's a good addition to our backfield. I know that the Jets have been in a lot of the I guess limelight of sorts on social media in the sense of players lashing out saying that they've been treated poor in the sense of injuries.
Yeah.
Mikey Becton, he actually popped up on my timeline today, which
He
I
looks
think
skinny. He lost a
he
lot
looks,
of weight.
he looks great.
He looks like almost too light now.
But he actually just came out, allegedly came out and said that he wasn't happy with how the Jets treated his injuries and how he said that the coaching staff didn't really care about his injury and that he had pointed it out to them beforehand and they said just play through it. It is what it is. I don't know how much of that is true, but if that is, then I just feel like it isn't, only because I feel like Mikey, if you've seen him on Twitter or seen him on social media or anything, he looks very happy. He looks very optimistic for the season. And I feel like something like that would kind of cause friction.
Yeah.
But another issue, Ty Johnson, running back, we literally just signed him to a deal. And then I guess he was working out, got hurt, tore his pec or something. Didn't want to get the surgery. The team told him, listen, you got to get the surgery. He gets the surgery. They cut him. And I guess he posted a video, I think today or yesterday or something, saying that he's been in a dark place and the Jets screwed him over and all this other stuff. But in reality, let's look at realistics. He was running back 5, I think, on our roster last year, depth chart.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not better than Zonovan Knight. You're not better than Michael Carter. You're not better than Brees Hall. And you're probably not better than the rookie that we just brought in. You got a surgery that I'm sorry, but if you want to continue to play in the NFL, especially this season, probably had to get the surgery done because, the Jets get rid of you, send you to waivers, the team goes to pick you up, you don't pass the physical, you got a free operation out of it. They're trying to set you up to at least be able to play this season, assuming a team takes the chance, takes the risk. But me personally, I don't think that's too bad a deal.
No, and I mean,
it's a surgery that had to happen.
I feel like a guy like Ty Johnson, he really just wasn't that good when he was playing. Like he got his touches 2 years ago when the Jets were terrible. I mean, they were pretty bad last year, and he didn't really do much with it. He fumbled a lot, dropped a lot of passes. So yeah, I mean, I just think that's just also like that is what the NFL is. It's just
the
cutthroat.
business side of it,
The NBA, like these guys fortunately they get their guaranteed contracts. They get paid very well, but in the NFL, it's a little more cutthroat and it's a little more team friendly.
Yes.
Where if they feel like they made a mistake or they don't want this guy, they can just cut him.
Yeah, they'll take the cap hit.
Yeah, that's about it. But going back to what you were saying about the Aaron Rodgers and the 20-point thing, I think another thing that's going to benefit the Jets' defense this year is having a quarterback and an offense that can drive.
Yeah.
and can control the time of possession, because that was one of the biggest issues that almost even held back the Jets defense last year, was the fact that Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, whoever was playing, it was a 3-and-out, it was a fumble, it was an interception. They did not have many long drives.
No.
And you have to do that to help your defense, because you have to keep their offense off the field. And now that the Jets can do that, I feel like it's just going to benefit their defense even more.
Well, no, 100%. Because, I mean, and a lot of people, I feel like people need to understand this. The amount of snaps the Jets' defense probably had last year is probably an atrocious amount. Because, as you said, the Jets are turning the ball over, having 3-and-outs literally every possession.
Yeah.
You know what? You score every one in every 3-4 possessions, if you're lucky. Like, I truly do think that our defense is honestly even better, in my opinion, than what it was played last year. I do think they played a lot of those games fatigued.
Yeah.
Just in my opinion, I think the Eagles are frauds. In my opinion, dude, they had the easiest schedule last year. You face the Giants, building team. I'm sorry, play Saquon Barkley. You're probably gonna win the game, and then you face, who was it? Who they face after the Giants?
Was it the 49ers?
Was it the 49ers?
They had the bye.
Yeah, because they had the bye, then they faced the Giants, and then you faced the 49ers, who didn't have a quarterback for the literally entire duration of that game. And I'm sorry, like what you literally have ranked. I think it was either the top easiest schedule, or it was like a top 3, top 5 easiest schedule, and then you get a Cinderella story into the Super Bowl. And then you if you are I'm sorry, but if the Eagles are as good as advertised, they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What excuses do you have? Your player, their corner had a holding call,
Eagles.
admitted it.
I'm a Jalen Hurts fan.
Really? I can't stand the Eagles.
I love Jalen Hurts.
A different level. I
like
don't
Jason
like
Kelsey. I understand why people wouldn't like him. Nick Sirianni's kind of annoying.
That, and just, dude, I went to Darien Lake in Philly, bro. And this is right after they won the Super Bowl, so their heads were popped up. And it's just, for me, I genuinely felt like everyone that I talked football with from there didn't know it.
Yeah.
Like, you had guys genuinely making an argument that Carson Wentz deserved the contract over Nick Foles. Like, what are you...
Ultimately, neither of them really deserve it, right?
100%. But I feel like just historically, Nick Foles has always played relatively decent, deserving enough, in my opinion, for a contract in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I just think he's just one of those guys where it's, this is the scheme that you play, and this is the one that you're good at.
Yeah.
You know?
What was I gonna say? Yeah.
I do believe the Jets have a pretty good season this season. I think if we make the conference championship, I think, to me, that's the bare minimum. That's the floor.
For like what you would consider a successful season.
Because what excuse, rather than, I guess in my opinion, I wasn't a big fan of the draft. I think pick one. You have Jackson Smith and Jigba in your hands, and you chose a defensive end that, in my opinion, we have a lot of depth there.
Yeah.
And you just bounced Elijah Moore to Cleveland.
It would have been nice.
And to think, he was teammates with Garrett Wilson. They've got the chemistry. They're good friends. And I think playing long ball, chances are if two people like playing with each other, one re-signs, chances are the other one's probably going to re-sign. And, all you have to do is pitch Garrett Wilson that the contract that he's going to deserve, because I do believe he's going to be a star. I do believe he's an amazing receiver. I think you still reel in Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then that's your dynamic duo for 7 years.
It would have been nice, and it would have been giving Rodgers even more weapons. But I guess the argument against it is, we got Garrett. We think he's a true 1. Brought in Lazard, who we think can be a 2, and then they have a bunch of these guys who are definitely NFL play. Like, they're NFL level receivers. Like, they're solid pieces to
just
have.
They get hurt. That's my biggest worry as far as this season, because Corey Davis did miss a good amount of games last season. McCole Hardman, again, same thing, bouncing back and forth between. I think he had a hamstring injury. I think, and And then who Denzel Mims. I think Denzel Mims, in my opinion, I think he can be a great receiver. It's just I think he's one of those guys that he was picked at the wrong time when your team was terrible. So now you're kind of just shuffled behind the back of the depth chart, and you're just really training camp. You're just really hoping that you show enough to be on the roster.
Yeah, definitely.
So
We'll see though.
I would be surprised if we go into the season with all of them. I think we get rid of at least one.
And it won't be Randall Cobb.
Won't be Randall. I forgot Randall Cobb. Yeah, we have a pretty deep receiving core. It's just like I said. I'm interested to see what we do with Denzel Mims this season because where does he fit in?
Hopefully it works out with him, but we'll see. Before we wrap it up, let me get your top 5 teams in the NFL going into the season and your Super Bowl prediction.
My top 5 teams going into the season. Oh my! All right. Well, I mean, the bias in me would have to put Jets at 1. No, I'm just kidding. To be honest, I would have to say my top 5 would be. Do they have to be in order, or just kind of just my top 5? All right. I'm gonna have to say. All right, I will put the Jets in the top 5.
Okay.
I will say that. I'll say the Jets, Bengals, Chiefs. And then I have to throw NFC teams in there. Fuck. I'm going to have to say the Eagles. And I'm going to say that, assuming they get a quarterback, I'm saying the 49ers. There's not a better defense in football.
What's your Super Bowl prediction?
Jets. Yeah, I'm going to have to say the Jets. I'm going to have to.
Who do they beat?
I think the Jets. I want all the smoke. Give me the Eagles.
All right.
Prove that the Eagles are as good as advertised and let the Jets run it. I mean, we play them in the regular season.
I think the Eagles will be back there.
We play them in the regular season.
Yeah. My top 5 no order would be Eagles, Bengals, Chiefs. I'll throw the Jets in there. And then let me take a wild card, and I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Okay.
We'll see. Do I believe in that fully? I don't know, but
that's
mix
typical.
It up. I'm going to mix it up. Let's see what Lamar can do with OBJ.
With OBJ.
We'll see. But
Mark Andrews, too.
Mark Andrews, I mean.
Who's their running back? Do they have anything at running back? Wait. Where did Miles Sanders go? I know he went somewhere.
Miles Sanders went to Carolina, I think. Am I wrong on that? I think he went to Carolina.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right on that. You're probably actually right on that one, to be honest.
Who's their running back? Is it Gus Edwards? No.
Hey Siri, who's the running back for the Baltimore Ravens? J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins. I should know this. Savion's a Ravens fan.
And Gus Edwards. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Who am I gonna bet? I'll go Chiefs Eagles rematch. Eagles win. It'll probably change by week 1. It'll probably change by week
No, that is probably actually fact. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Like so much. That's the one thing about the NFL. Like so much can happen. Like,
do you have a dark horse team?
Dark horse. I guess the dark horse team would the Ravens be considered a dark horse? No, they're a little too good for that. I would say.
I don't know. I mean, you got to think they are coming off of a lot of turmoil this past offseason.
Yeah. Maybe the Lions.
I like the Lions. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of digging.
I like the Lions.
I think Seattle can play well.
Yeah.
I think
Geno
Seattle
can keep it up. Yeah.
I think if Geno can come back next year and play the way that he did last year, I think Seattle, because you got to think they got DK Metcalf, they have Jackson Smith and Jigba, then they have Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
I think they've got playmakers. They have that running back that was shoo-in for Rookie of the Year, offensive.
Kevin Walker, yeah.
Kevin Walker,
They got a lot of talent, yeah. And is Jamal Adams going to be back for them? He should be, right?
He's supposed to be, but who knows? He's probably going to be Blitz Boy again, get hurt, and
who knows?
Hopefully not. But
yeah, I'm excited for football to start creeping up on us, especially fantasy. It gives us a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yes, football season is the best season.
It is.
In my opinion, it's fun. It's fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy it. I think NBA season is pretty fun. Even though I guess I would say I've followed NBA since maybe 5 years ago, roughly. But I think I'm only a Celtics fan because Rajon Rondo is probably my favorite point guard of all time.
Okay.
And the Green. That's not gonna lie. That's why I was like, I like this team.
Green.
And then Rajon Rondo, I remember, he played the This is when I was kind of starting to watch it a little bit more. I understand it. I remember he played. It was Celtics versus the Heat in the finals. Rajon Rondo dislocated his elbow and came back in the play. And I was like, dude, that's a dog.
He was different.
And his passes, insane.
Legend.
But
Oh shit! And Melo retired today.
what?
Shout out to Melo.
What
Stay
a
Melo.
legend.
Knicks legend.
That's a sad, bro. Think about all of the big players in every sport that we watched growing up.
I
Were
know.
just
New York's finest. It's crazy, bro.
It was a sad day when.
And
Joe
now, like
Davis retired.
LeBron, yeah, like all these guys, it's going by quick.
It's sad.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a LeBron supporter. Like I personally, I'm not a big fan of him. But
I was a
it's
bigger
gonna be
fan.
it's gonna be a sad day. Like it was a different. Like it hit different when Kobe retired, let alone when he passed.
Yeah.
Like Darrell Revis. That is, to my recollection. I'm sorry, in my opinion, there's no better man-to-man corner in the NFL history. I'm sorry. With the size that he is, this dude was like 5 foot. I think it was like what 5'7", I think.
Something like that. It's nice to see now. Also, like the Jets kind of have another lockdown.
It was Sauce,
With
we got
Sauce.
DJ.
Yeah.
Like we got Michael Carter. He's not bad at all. He's a good nickel. In my opinion, Bryce Hall, he's not terrible. He had a really good season and then kind of faded. Last year?
Yeah. No, he's been solid.
But
for them.
I'm excited for Jets football, dude. That's all I'm saying, dude. Get me some Jets football, because I'm going to be talking my shit on Twitter for good. Like,
All right, bro.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for coming on, and good episode.
Yeah. No, it was a pleasure, bro.
Yeah,
It was a
bro.
pleasure.